guys, my name is Mina and I'm a New York City-based personal trainer, nutrition coach, and wellness blogger. And I'm actually launching my own wellness product soon. And today I'm going to take you guys through a quick 5-minute workout you guys can do at home or anywhere with no equipment and a great post. So this little 5-minute workout series that I'm going to take you guys through is going to include a little warm-up because that's super important. You can't just go into a workout cold. And trust me, that'll get your heart rate up and you sweating. And then we're going to move on to a little full body and core series. So before we get to the smoothie recipe, which is going to be for a summer LemonAID recovery smoothie, we're going to do a little 5-minute workout that you can do anywhere with no equipment. So I'll be doing it in my new home. Pardon the boxes everywhere. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through all of the exercises one by one, where I'm just going to show you guys the technique to make sure you guys are doing this correctly. And then at the end, I'll post a list of the exercises that you guys are going to circuit through. Okay, so first we're going to do something called the world's greatest stretch. Us trainers call it that because it helps with your mobility to get your body nice and warm in the major joints that you need to, like your hips, your shoulders, and your T-spine. So I'm going to reach your hands really tall up into the air, lengthen that spine. Reach your hands down towards the floor while keeping a nice flat back so that you get that hamstring stretch. You're going to walk your hands out into the push-up plank position. Then you're going to lunge your right foot outside of your right hand, keeping this back leg straight so that you get that hip flexor stretch. Then you're going to twist all the way open, big stretch, hand down, foot back. Then you're going to switch sides. Big twist, hand down, foot back. Then you're going to walk your hips all the way up using your feet to walk forward. Then you're going to stand tall, turn around, same thing. Things that you shouldn't be doing is rounding your back on the way down, because that way what you're doing is you're rounding your lumbar spine rather than getting a hamstring stretch. So you want to think about leading with your butt. The bend and snap basically from Legally Blonde. And then walk your hands out and repeat. So now we're going to do something called the squat jack. It's basically like a jumping jack, but instead you're going to get into a deeper squat, so you're really firing up those hips and your legs. So as I always tell new clients, you may need to modify some of these exercises based on your conditioning level, your mobility, and any kind of injuries that you might have. So make sure that you're respecting your body's limits, but let's get going. We're going to do a little forward to reverse lunge. There are variations of this to make this more advanced or simple. So I'm going to have you keep your hands on your hips or in front of your chest like this. You're going to step forward into a lunge until you're about a 90 degree angle here. Push off and step backwards into a lunge. And then just go back and forth between the two like this. Easier modification, you can do your lunge, step back, put your other foot down to balance, and step backward. Down to your mat in a push-up plank position. First thing we're going to do, feet are stacked hips width apart here. Hips are pressed down towards the floor. What you're going to do is you're going to push your hips backwards like you're going into a squat, and then push up. Nice and explosive forward. Sitting your hips back, push forward. The advanced version here, you can start rotating your hips. So you get some transverse motion going on here. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your feet towards the side as you sit predominantly with the left hip back here. Explode forward just like you did with the other exercise. Same thing with this. We're going to do a push-up to plank position. So what you're going to do, you're going to place your right hand right where your right elbow is. Then you're going to push it all the way up into a push-up, elevating, and then coming back down the same way. Things not to do here is to jostle your hips back and forth and let them sink on the way up. You want to minimize as much motion in your hips as possible, keeping them super level, using your core and your upper body length. So your feet are going to be about hips width apart, wider if this is too difficult for you, closer if they're too easy. All you're going to do is try and keep those hips level. You're going to lift one arm, tap one shoulder with it, pause for a second, and bring it back down. Pause. We're going to do something called side plank raises now. So what you want to do to set up, you want to think about stacking this shoulder directly on top of that elbow. It should not be further out, should not be further in. Should be stacked right on top of each other. Feet are also stacked so that your body's in a nice straight line. You can place your hand on your hip or your side. From here, you're going to squeeze both glutes to lift and bridge up into the air, and then come back down with straight legs. Lift back up, come back down. Lift back up, come back down. So this next exercise is going to be your finisher here, and my clients all love this exercise. and I call it the half burpee because it's not the full version of a burpee, but it still gets that heart rate up and going. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your hands down to the floor, jump your feet out, jump your feet back into a big squat, stand up nice and tall, hands down, feet back, feet in, stand tall. Back and forth. If this is too difficult for you, you can modify by placing your hand down, stepping one foot back, stepping the other foot back, step it in, one at a time, stand up straight. But nice, quick pace here. We want this one to be pretty speedy. So what a lot of people don't realize is that when you're working out, it's only half of the battle. You really actually need to focus on the recovery component of it, which you can achieve through nutrition and sleep. So here, we want to make sure that we're making a really nutrient-dense smoothie so that your muscles and nervous system can recover. Because, I mean, who wants to work out and sweat their butt off and only get half of the results back? It's kind of like getting a check issued to you, but you're not depositing it in the bank. Deposit it in the bank. First, we got some of the fun natural goodness. It's going to taste like a strawberry rhubarb lemonade almost. And typically I'll throw in some spinach too, but I'm actually out right now. And then there's frozen banana for a little sweetness and consistency, and potassium for post-workout hydration. Now that we got the sweet fun stuff out of the way, here are our nutritional heavy hitters. We've got unsweetened hemp milk for some protein and good fats, collagen for those amino acids and protein to help your muscles recover, then chia and hemp seed for those omega-3s and proteins. So normally I actually use frozen fruits both for the texture and the convenience of it because everything's already prepped, sliced, and frozen bananas definitely give it that creamy smoothie texture, so you don't need to add ice to your smoothie. And of course, these, aside from the convenience of not having to prep, it's actually a little bit more nutrient dense at times because when fruit is picked at its peak ripeness, it's frozen right away, whereas fresh fruit sometimes takes some time to get to your grocery stores. For me personally, I don't really love protein powder because I find it kind of chalky and then I don't really enjoy my post-workout smoothie, and food shouldn't have to be choked down. So I designed and nutritionally optimized this recipe to include hemp seeds, chia seeds, and collagen, which is one of my favorite things for the past several years before it became a hype trend word. And yes, there aren't really, research studies enough done on effects of hair, nails, skin, but it's a great source of amino acids. So the tip for selecting good collagen, it should be pretty odorless, it should be white colored, but then it should be colorless when it's actually dissolved in liquid. And make sure to look where you're sourcing it from. The one I like to use is non-GMO and it's grass-fed cattle. This smoothie, it actually doesn't look like it in this light, but in real life it looks almost like a millennial pink. Excuse my boxes in the background, I just moved, but it tastes seriously like a strawberry lemonade smoothie, but it's got a ton of protein in there. A big thank you to you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe and got a good little 5-minute workout in. If you guys ever have any questions about training or nutrition, feel free to message me. And a big thank you to the Feedfeed for having me take over. I'll be doing a trainer series over the next couple months, so